Hey guys, welcome to another video. What I'm going to be showing you today is how you can create new user accounts on your Mac. So if you have multiple people using it, if it's a family Mac and you have yourself, maybe your wife or your husband and your kids using it, and you want to separate all those accounts, you can actually do it quite easily, and you can see some benefits of doing that. So first thing first, I'm going to be doing this on the latest operating system out at the moment, which is macOS High Sierra, but it will be very similar if you're using older operating systems, and in theory it should be still very similar if you're using newer operating systems as well. So let's get started. First thing first, we need to go into System Preferences, and like I said in my previous videos, if you don't have it right here on the dock like I do, you can get in quite simply by going to the Apple logo and then System Preferences right here. And the menu we're looking for is this one here on the left, Users and Groups. So let's get in there and see what we can do. Right, so it looks very similar to the previous videos, but what we're going to do this time is we're going to start by unlocking that padlock on the bottom left. So to do that, we click it and then it's going to ask us for a password. This is our login password, so I'm going to go ahead and type mine and hit unlock. So there we go, that's all done. Next thing, we're going to hit the plus icon here on the bottom left of the screen to add a user. And you can see by default that new user account is a standard user. And we have a few options. If we click it, let's have a look together. So we have standard, administrator right here at the top, manage with parental controls, sharing only, and group. We're not really going to talk about the last three. We're going to talk about the first two, so standard and administrator. Now, if the person you're creating this account for, you want them to be able to do admin tasks, installing applications for everyone, changing some admin settings. For example, when we click on that padlock, you need to be an admin to be able to unlock it. So if you want that person to be able to do all those changes, we need to make sure we make that an administrator account. Otherwise, we'll keep it standard. The thing to remember here is for the first three, administrator, standard, and manage with parental controls, you can actually create a standard account and then give that account admin privileges later on, or you can actually manage that account with parental controls. So for the sake of argument, we'll just create a standard account. Say we're creating one for our child. So we're gonna go ahead and type in their full name. So we'll type John Appleseed. There we go. Account name. I typically like giving really short names. So my account will just be my first name, or something quite short, something that stands out. So we're just gonna do John. So unless you have two members in your family with the same name, or at least two people that are going to be using the Mac with the same name, I would keep that nice and simple, something like just the first name. Obviously, you can do whatever you want in there. It doesn't really matter. The thing to remember is once you've set it, you're probably not going to change that again. You can change it, but you shouldn't. So set it to something you're going to want to keep. Next, we're going to type a password. So we could get a member of the family to type their own password if they want, or if we want to give them a password, we can type the password here. So I'm going to do that. So type the password and then type it again to verify. Make sure you've typed it correctly. Password hint, we've talked about that in a previous video, in the video where we're setting the password. Make sure it's something that will trigger your memory, but don't make it too easy to answer. And again, it depends on the environment. If you're just going to be using it at home, it doesn't really matter, I suppose. So I'm going to leave this blank for now, even though it says it's recommended. We'll just leave it blank. And we're going to go ahead and create user. So if we wait just a few moments, you see we have our new user right here on the left, John Appleseed. And the first thing I usually do is change the user icon. I don't really know why, but I like to do it. So let's change it to the board here with the equations. Excellent. So one of the things you have noticed straight away, what happens is when you have more than one user, it enables fast user switching. And what that is, you can see my name up here on the top right. That's because now I can click on that and switch to another user account without actually logging out of my account. So my account is still going to be logged in. I'm still going to be able to do everything I could do before. It's not going to quit my applications. My browser is going to be open, etc. But I can also go into another account. So it's quite handy if somebody wants to come in and just check something really quickly. Now let's have a quick look at the login options, because we're going to see a few different things. So in the previous video, we've enabled show password hints to show that password hint that we were talking about earlier when we get stuck. And right here, we have another checkbox selected, which is the show fast user switching menu as. And at the moment it's set to full name, so you can see my full name up there. We can set it to account name, so that's the account name we talked about earlier, which is usually just your first name, or at least that's what I do. And then we have the icon as well. We just showed you a little icon, a little user icon, which you can still click and go to a different account. Before we actually end this video, I want to show you one last thing. Remember how earlier we talked about the admin account, the standard account, and the account with parental controls enabled? Here you can actually see two checkboxes. The first one, allow user to administer this computer. When you check this box, it's going to actually make that user an admin. So they'll be able to do the same things that they would have been able to do if we had selected administrator in that first screen. So literally by clicking that button, you're doing the same thing as having set up an admin account in the first place. And then the next one will enable parental controls. So it basically creates that third account type that we looked at. So like I said before, it doesn't really matter which one of those three you do at start, because you can always allow that person to become an admin or revoke admin privileges, and you can also always enable parental controls or take them off. That's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget I have an Instagram account as well, which you can follow, that I do quick tips for both macOS and iOS. Please leave a comment below and let me know what you'd like to see next. I do these videos for you, so I want to make videos that you guys will enjoy. Let me know if you want me to dive more into user accounts or anything else you want. And don't forget to like and subscribe, because it really makes a difference. Thank you very much for watching this video. I'll catch you next time. Bye.